happy to be here. I know when they're
Morning is the program on Delta Rainbow Television and we're still moving smoothly. Yes, I told you earlier that we will love to talk about your right and my right, our fundamental human right. Last week, we narrowed it down on the judiciary and how they can help protect the rights of citizens, especially when they are in the hands of the Nigerian police being remanded and all of their case being followed up. Today we're back in the studio and we're going to be talking to the representative of the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, this group of people who have taken it upon themselves to help protect the fundamental human rights of citizens. And to get started, I have in the studio with me Comrade Dr. Prince Kehinde Tiger. He's the national president, the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, and is also known as a senior advocate of the masses. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome on board. Comrade Jonathan Kiama is also with me. He's the chairman, Delta State Chapter, Committee for the Defense of Human Rights. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you so much for your time. So, we were on judiciary last week. Let's look at what we will be pointing down on, or rather pinning down on today's outing of the program. Let's come to you. What's in your plate?
Last week we discussed the issue of the judiciary, the inability of the Ministry of Justice through the DPP to give the advice to case file that have been remanded to prisons.
Yes.
That is actually causing a delay and a violation of suspect, because every person that is under remand or under the police detention remain innocent until is proved guilty in the competent court of law. So if we are being remanded into the correctional center of Nigeria, does not mean that you have been found guilty. And a lot of people that are there, they have to have been granted bail, then leaving their house to the court to attend to the case where they have been alleged for investigation to also get the truth, whether the allegation is true or not. So the DPP should wake up from their slumbers through the Ministry of Justice, so that justice can be done to humanities, because justice delay is just like justice denied. And a man who ought to have been spent maybe 2-3 months, or a man who ought to have been set free from the correctional center because of the delay of the DPP and the court process, he might spend nothing less than 9 to 2 years, just like I said before now, that a man was alleged on the act of stealing Okada, and the man has been there since 2016 up to this moment. Nothing has been done about the case, and I believe vividly, I wish he would have been punished, or he was found guilty in court of law. They would have given him a punishment up to 5 years, and that is a total violation of a suspect before the court. So the judiciary should wake up. And they were clamoring for autonomy, and the autonomy has been given to them. They should see it as the means of serving the masses. They should see the profession as a calling to serve the masses, to stand for the common man, not just for the rich alone. Because most of the problem we're having in the judiciary today, they only stand to defend the rich. They don't stand to defend the common man, neither the poor man. And it's not supposed to be so. Everybody is equal before the law. There shouldn't be a separation or disenfranchising people from their right to being to the lawsuit. That's the reason why we have the Ministry of Justice, where a free service, legal free service, can be given to less privilege of those who are being remanded in prison and those who are also the detention of the Nigeria police. And secondly, the Nigeria police should work within the ambit of the law. This act of extortion in the Nigeria police currently, we have come to observe that the extortion on the roadside has increased again, because from pole to pole you see the Nigeria police checking point collecting 50 naira from tricycle and drivers. which is tantamount to injustice. So we are calling on the Commissioner of Police that he should send a signal and a warning to every Nigeria police that is extorting Nigeria citizens that are working to survive on a daily bread and their life within the road. Those are applying Okada, Keke and bus. And however, we have also heard the stories and the complaint against the military that every military checkpoint across this, from this Saple Warri Road to Benin Flyover, that they are collecting money from pig traders, collecting 6,000 from each pickup. They are conveying the pigs from the northern to this our region. Those people, they are doing their legitimate business, and I see no reason why the military will be extorting them the huge amount of money up to that extent of 6,000 per a truck. And how much are they making? How much is their profit? And if they are paying 60,000, and we have up to 6 to 7 military checkpoint within Warri to Benin Flyover, if you multiply 6,000 times 6, it will give you up to 36,000 naira just for a vehicle. It's a tantamount to injustice. At this point in time, we are calling on the CU and the GCO controlling all Nigerian army that their military checkpoint should desist from extortion, or else we will go on the street.
Okay, thank you so much. That's from a broader perspective, which we'll come back to. But I want to go to the state chairman. State chairman, what has been your experience so far so good in Delta State as regards to the abuse of fundamental human rights of citizens in Delta State?
The abuse is yet not at fully contact. It's still fully on ground. I begin to understand that most of the reasons why human rights are being infringed upon as a result of corruption. Okay. Corruption leaded to many people violating human rights. As my president just said, first of all, about the judiciary, where court bailiffs demand for money before they pass out informations to whoever is concerned. Then issue of DPP to see how we raise the matter before the matter will get to DPP office. And from there, the file must move from one table to others. And because of the delays as a result of demanding for stipends or money before the issue will be treated, it's as a result of corruption. Police extortion is also as a result of corruption. These people are meant for, salaries are being approved for them for the job they are doing. So any money collecting outside that salary is corruption. Corruption has eaten so deep that even issue our colleagues was crying for child trafficking is also corruption. People take money, pick money to allow the system flow without following due process. It's as a result of corruption. So corruption is the major problem that making the infringement of rights become possible in Nigeria, even in Delta State as my domain.
Corruption a major key. And also, National President, let me come to you with this. There's a lot of talk that it is possible that most Nigerians and Deltans, not excluded, do not know anything about their right. So, is ignorance of the law a possible reason why fundamental human right is being infringed upon? Like, you don't know it's your right to have this, you don't know it's your right to go through this process. That's why your right is being infringed upon and you probably don't even know. Is it possible?
Ignorance is not an excuse before the law.
Mm-hmm.
The act of infringement on fundamental right. If Mr. A does not know his right, Mr. B, who knows the right, should at least work without the ambit of knowing the right. Seeing other person as an ignorant of the right or law does not give him a mayastic to either to infringe on the fundamental right of an individual or to extort an individual. You see, this extortion that is going on in our country, we are not trying to narrow it down to the act of corruption. But the act of corruption we are talking about has has eaten deeply into every Nigerians, and we are trying to rebrand Nigeria to a nation where every person's right will be respected. And that's the reason why we see different agencies were set up. If you look at the Nigeria police now, it was set up to protect life and property, so that an individual will not come into your house or forcefully take your property from you without your consent. The police are there to maintain law and orders. Agents to give a directive and to protect a fundamental right of every citizen of every nation. One of the most things that we should know as a government people is the right of individuals. Now, government has been established to manage the socio-economic of a country, of a nation, or of a state, or of a local government, or of a world. Because we were talking about the politics, it moved from the federal government to the state to the local government, and to the world where we have councillors. All these are being put in place to make a man enjoy his fundamental human right in a nation. Now, it is a duty of the government to provide a good road for every citizen. It is a duty of the government to provide a health setup that will make the people be on a good health condition. It is also a duty of the government to provide electricity. So the government is totally infringing on this right. That is not even enough, going into extortion from the common Nigerians, violating their right on the roadside. What is the problems, and what is the military men felt that these people, what law have they actually broken that is making them to extort 6,000 from traders on the road? So they are dwelling on the privilege that they are putting on Nigeria military uniform, does not give them the majestic to extort those who are doing a legitimate business.
Okay, ignorance of the law. Ignorance of the
It's
law.
not an excuse before the law.
It's not an excuse when you commit a crime and you are faced in the court of law and you say, I did not know it's an offense. That's not an excuse. But when you do not know that you have a right, a fundamental human right to have access to these, like good road, like not to be extorted from, and some other things, it becomes something against you. It's not just when you come before the court of law, like when you do not know your right. Let's come to the state chairman. We have this as a major problem. So many people don't know their rights. So I want to ask you, is there anything that the Delta State Committee for the Defense of Human Rights is doing to educate the masses on their fundamental human rights, so that they will know, I have a right to this, I have a right to that. Like they say, don't you just come. If you're a JJC in a place, you can easily be fooled. But when you know what you want, you know your right, you probably not be trampled upon. So talk to me on the activities of the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights towards this.
The activities of Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, our coming here today is also to enlighten the public of what to do about infringement of human rights. We have programs, even though we have another program at Ugele South, Otokutu, to also educate the community there over human rights. So we are not sleeping. We work all over the club to see how people can be able to understand the issue of observing human rights. So in the issue of this corruption, extortion and others, the government are using their parastatals to extort the citizens.
Are you trying to say the government has got to be aware if the police is part of the government, and they are still extorting money from even after the hashtag NSAS and all police extortion?
Let me come to a different way again. Look at what is happening in NDC today. These forensic just came out now. They also observe about 30,000 abandoned projects happened within Niger Delta for the past years. And before now, these oil producing states have been suffering from different things, right from 1958 when we were getting oil in Nigeria. So all these things have been brought down to the government. Ecological funds that are supposed to be given to these people that will not be given. And the people who are giving this money to go and do the project, they knew that maybe this money is not enough. They will eat the money because the other person who is not needing this money cannot cry out. All brought down to the detriment of the citizens. So it's a result of the corruption that is bringing all this in to this level.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution. We've been given this signal, and we would like to have a follow-up on the military checkpoints issues on Saturday, and to know to what extent are we looking at? Is it just a target on pig farmers, which is livestock, agriculture, or on all motorists on the road?
Well, we're going to handle it in all motorists.
Okay, we follow up on Saturday,
yes.
so that we know what the situation is.
The instruction of business people, travelers on that road, especially those that are traveling stocks, is becoming alarming and is unbearable.
Okay.
It is not the duty of the Nigerian Army to be extorting on the road.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. I'd like to say thanks to you, Dr. Prince Kehinde Tiger, the National President, Committee for the Defense of Human Rights. He's also known as the Senior Advocate of the Masses. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Also to you, Jonathan Giama, the Chairman, Delta State Chapter, Committee for the Defense of Human Rights. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sister.
Morning Watch is still very much the program, and it continues, so do well to join us then. Stay with us all the way, rather we will still be here.